happy Friday, and welcome back to the channel that just passed 400 subscribers yesterday. Okay, so it's still not even halfway to 1,000, but it's a milestone. Let me enjoy what I can. But a lot of you helped me get here, and a lot of you have your own YouTube channels, and I want to reciprocate. So if you do have a YouTube channel to promote, as always, drop the link in the chat or ask Ned or two. But tonight, send me a DM and I'll respond with the StreamYard link so you can come in and give your elevator pitch. But since it's only 400, chances are it won't be a whole lot of traffic, so we will also be wrapping up our discussion of Outer Range with returning guest bartender Steven Deleted Scenes Otten. So in the spirit of celebration, top off your glasses and raise them, cause here we go. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone tonight?
Doing pretty well.
There you go. I was going to say, is anyone there with us?
I'm here.
And Steven, you're not coming through even though I saw you take your mute off.
Can you hear me now?
Try. I can hear you now. There you go.
Okay.
Yes, it does sound like a phone commercial. So let me start.
Okay, I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing. Oh, good evening.
Yeah, you are.
I'm already. Okay.
I swear, I saw that movie and I'm like, I don't understand a word you're saying. Why do they even give you lines? You know,
I understood what he was saying.
If you're gonna have a like a mask or rebreather or whatever that thing is, do like Darth Vader. Make it like augment your voice electronically or something so that we can understand you. That shit in your mouth. Just speak up already. So let's start with deleted scenes. You know, you're almost becoming a regular on the show, but you're still a guest bartender. How you doing? What you sipping on tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm surprised my webcam is working. That never happens.
That's fair.
And I got a glass of tea and a mug of milk.
Like the Johnny Depp trial, a lot of tea, a lot of tea. I don't know. Maybe you weren't even watching the trial, but there's a lot. Let's just put it this way: all last week, Amber Heard was on the stand, and people have pointed out that a lot of her testimony came from movies.
I've heard
that. So unless there's a really strange, life imitating art. She just lives in the movies, I guess. I don't know.
She's full of it. Yeah.
Yeah. When she leaves it in the bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we all live in the movies?
We try to, but they haven't been very good lately. Let me tell you. Agent Boomer, how you doing and what you sipping on?
I'm doing well. I am drinking a orange Fanta, and I only made it through I didn't watch the last episode of Outer Range, so if we could refrain from talking about that tonight, I'd appreciate it.
I did.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, though, no. In all fairness, though, there is one big, I don't know what you call spoiler, I guess. And I'm not sure I want to ruin it in the course of maybe as I drink more, I'll let it slip out or something.
Toward the end of the show, we'll have to talk about it. It's a big zinger at the end, which actually calls to an observation you made the other week about a certain character, which I think is now that was some keen observation on you and Netter's part about. I
had some half-formed ideas about something. Yeah. You're gonna have to remind me what I said because you remember, enough of these.
Okay. And if you mention the big reveal, then I'll say what I have to say. But
that's fair. So by the way, I did mention the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Next week starts, they start back to court. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So, in honor of Johnny, no one should be too surprised that I'm
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. The Kraken.
Why is the rum always gone?
And I think it's tragic when the rum is gone. So if you want to help me keep my rum barrel stocked, there's a link down below where you can buy me a drink. Anyway, so
We're supposed to promote our channels, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I'm really excited
Oh.
because I've kind of hit 400 subscribers and kind of blown past it. So that's another celebration that we're doing tonight. And again, I know it's a milestone for me. It's not, it's not even halfway to monetization, but I'm feeling pretty good on it. So, let's drink to 400 first. Oh. And before we get too far into it, I do want to at least say hi to the chat. First comment goes to Stephen on deleted scenes, and that was like hours ago.
I cheated.
Well, you cheated, sure. No, not really, because you follow me on Twitter just like many other people do, and you saw my my comment, and you came and you were excited. You're going to be on the show. I'd say that's pretty encouraging. But first person who's not on the panel, at least not yet, unless the invitation I'm about to send out, you want to come in and join us briefly, just to say hi and congratulate me. Big Al of Big Al Presents. You can see me alternately on his channel and Netter's channel every Saturday for a rewatch. He's got a great channel and he's great people. So if you are here and you want to stop in, give your elevator pitch, Big Al, let's see if we can't get you a few more subscriptions. And of course, speaking of the she devil, that's Netter of Netter's Network, love of my life too. I love you too, Netter. Thank you for being here. We'll let her give her elevator pitch in a little bit too. Matanui. Oh, and Netter's dropping people's links. Thank you so much. She's our blue wrench. So she's going to promote all your channels, but she's also going to keep an eye on you because she's the bouncer. Matanui, always love seeing you here. You always spice up the conversation. And yes, I agree with Steven. Hail to the chat. Mary, Mrs. Canuck, how you doing? So good to see you. Congratulations at 400. You're one of the ones that helped me get here. And Mary, I'll send you the link if you want to come in and give a quick elevator pitch and see if we can't get you a few more subscriptions too. Or just, come in and congratulate me, because that would encourage me. So let me real quick. I'm gonna send you the link anyway. And if you feel like coming in, you come in, and if you don't, no harm, no foul. I'm just.
I didn't congratulate you yet.
Well, then do so if you.
Congratulations on 400 subscribers.
Thank you so much. And they say that what is it? Raise the water lifts all boats.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I've gotten that from PJ, and I've gotten it from Pops on Pop Culture, and they've really encouraged me in that regard. And that's where I've seen the most growth, is from that sort of thing. And I super appreciate it. Lynn Matthews, have I just been drunk the past couple of weeks and not remembered? I'm not remembering the name, but if you're new to my channel, I super appreciate it. And I hope I get a like and a subscribe from you. But I have got to believe, I agree with you. I'll have a buffalo burger, rare with fries. Honestly, Netter and I have been watching Outer Range, and we've been seeing the buffalo, and we've both tried buffalo burgers. They are yum. Okay, just saying. And before I will get to the rest of the chat, I super appreciate all of you. But first, real quick, let me bring in my my Saturday sidekick, my buddy, my friend, Big Al Presents. How you doing? Oh, I love the is that themed for the show tonight?
I had to go a little bit of the Wyoming ranch and look there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
400, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. And I know that Netter has dropped Big Al's link. And of course, if you're following us every Saturday, Netter puts his link into the description every week. But Big Al, elevator pitch. Tell us about your channel.
Oh, well, I like to say I do reviews, rambles, and rewatches. The 3 R's of my channel. So, love movies, love TV, and love telling people what I think about them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do.
I do. I would flavor that with of all the reviewers, the commenters on films out there. You tend to be one of the more positive. I think you've taken.
I try to be. I go into a movie and a TV show with a positive attitude, wanting to like it, not looking for something to rip it apart.
Absolutely, and I'd say that's very refreshing.
Yeah.
That is different from. I mean, just the term critic implies being critical, right?
Right.
And I don't think that you are, and you've taken some flack about being overly sunny and overly positive. Mikey likes everything.
Yes, I have.
but in all honesty, you don't shy away from pointing out the weak points of films and
no, I'm not blind. I'm not blind to faults. I just don't take decisions in movies and TV shows personally.
Right.
I simply watch it. I'm hoping to be entertained, and if I am, then great. That's all there is about it. And I don't worry about what other people think or what other reviewers think or what other YouTubers are saying about certain shows or castings or story decisions. I just want to enjoy something, and that's what it's all about.
Good. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I'd say that's that positive aspect is kind of branding because it makes you unique. I think it's very refreshing. But I have there have been a number of films that I've seen only because Big Al recommended them, and even the bad ones,
which I warned you about. If I remember, we have the one famous one we mentioned. I was I told you it was bad.
Was Ouija Shark. And it's like, I knew going into it, I cannot blame Big Al. He said, I'm not recommending this film, and then he goes into the whole story. And I'm like, damn it, now I'm curious. And Netter and I were both like, well, that's an hour and a half of our lives we're not going to get back. I'm like, but we kind of had fun with it.
Had fun watching it. That's kind of where I go to. I know something is stupid, and I enjoy it anyway for what it is. And I think I mentioned, I put out a video yesterday about shows like Picard or even Strange New Worlds. Sometimes they like to slip in a few political statements. But I don't let a 30-second comment ruin an hour of a show for me.
And we've talked about this, Al.
Just doesn't do it.
I agree with you that by and large, political commentary in something doesn't in and of itself ruin the experience for me. The problem is when you are so focused on that you allow it to override canon and you disrupt the narrative flow of the story to do it. Now you are no longer telling a good story. You are proselytizing.
I call it being heavy-handed with it.
That's a good way to put it too. Yes.
It's like, don't make it the focus unless you're doing a show which is completely based on that.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other thing. I mean, that's perfectly fine too.
Then it's appropriate and on brand.
Appropriate to do it. But I also understand that Star Trek's been doing this since it started. They always kind of they'll bring in topics and viewpoints and things like that. And sometimes you just got to roll with it and see it for what it is,
right?
Or and some shows they've been doing that for a long time. But and it gets to me sometimes when during a press tour when the stars or the creative minds behind it start talking about any kind of progressive thing, and then you set up a lot of people don't want to watch a show, and then when you actually do watch the show, it's such a small little part.
It is a marketing problem, though, right?
But yeah, it's like you get people so off put to your show,
yeah,
that they don't even want to watch it. And when you actually do watch it, the whole point that they're trying to bring up is minute in the show.
I think a lot of companies are starting to realize that. We're going to talk more about that on Sunday on Geeky Geezers, because there's a couple of news articles where some companies are starting to turn around because they're realizing they're going broke, Yeah, anyway, before I let you go, Big Al, anything you want to pitch for, I don't know, the coming week, other channels that you are frequenting and so forth? Just
well, of course, I'll be a part of the Black Cauldron rewatch on Netter's network tomorrow night. Looking forward to that.
Night. Haven't even gotten to that one yet. Yeah.
And next week we'll be on my channel again. We'll be watching Stripes with Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. And I do want to make sure everyone understands the extended version, which has a lot of which has about, I think, 20 extra minutes or something. There's a whole scene.
Glad you mentioned that. I'll have to see if we have that or if I can get it.
It's actually the one that just happened to be where I got it. So if you get it there, that's fine. And of course, the big event coming up in June is Giant Robot June, Robot Jocks, and Pacific Rim. So those are going to be.
I've never seen Pacific Rim, so this is my opportunity.
Looking forward to it. Great film. I've seen it many times, and I love it. And I've got all the films for the rest of the year planned out for my channel, except for November.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for being an integral, like, core part of my community. I super appreciate it. Ushering me into YouTube, really.
Oh, well, I didn't know I did that. Well, thank you.
You were at least part of it. You weren't like exclusive.
I just kind of go along on my little journey of life.
I appreciate it.
But just want to say one thing. Looking forward to hearing what you think about Outer Range. I
haven't gotten a chance to see your video yet.
I binged it.
Al has a video too about Outer Range,
and I just talk about it for just a moment or two. I don't. It was just kind of an overview feeling. I do give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed it, and I binged it because I heard the final episode was out, and I flew right through it in a couple days actually. So have a good show. Thanks for having me on here so I could spread the word of my channel.
Absolutely, that's what it was all about. Thank you so much, Al. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
And again, congratulations on 400.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You take care. Thank you.
All right. So let me get back to saying hi to the chat here. We got Feast Chozo. I did, so he doesn't even bother with the trial. I'll be honest with you. I normally wouldn't. I don't care about what's going on in the lives of celebrities, but I am fascinated by the law. I have a buddy. He's actually my attorney. Who has often told me I missed my opportunity, my calling. I should have gone into law. And interestingly, I actually have a very famous cousin, Anthony Pacelli, here in Chicago, who was an attorney. I could have kind of had an in there, but I'm interested in the law. I really am. So I've been following the YouTube lawyers, the vloggers, Viva Fry, Legal Bites, Lita. Oh, she's a cutie. And, a lot of different, what's the name of the bloke that was on Valiant Renegade? Legal Mindset. He's really good too. Ricada Law, of course, everyone knows him from the Wisconsin case. But I've learned so much about law, and when I look through, I've accidentally become part of the conversation about the Herd Depp case on Twitter, and a lot of people started following me just because of that. And I'm realizing how few people really understand the law. And let's face it, there's the way things ought to be and the way things actually are. Okay. And they're all operating under the way things ought to be. And I'm going, no, that's not how the law works. Okay. I'm sorry. Believe all women doesn't work. I believe all evidence. And that's what's coming up in this case, So Mrs. Connect, I did send her the link, but she said, I'm lurking now. She's packing. She wanted to congratulate me. I deserve every single one. Thank you so much. You have been so encouraging, Mary. I super, super appreciate everything you've done for me. You have been like a big cheerleader, always sharing my links and so forth. She's packing, and she's pretty open about this. She's getting ready to move up to Canada to be by her honey. And we wish her all the best. And Mary, if you need anything, if there's anything else we can do for you, please let us know. If there's any way we can mobilize the community to help you guys out, we're rooting for you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And by the time we even find out that Lynn is rebooting, she's already back. And I'm assuming Lynn is female. I don't want to assume your gender, but I don't know. So if I'm mistaken, let me know. I don't know. And of course, Ann Bryant, I'm guessing that she's a friend of yours. Thank you so much for being here, Ann. And I hope I can earn your subscription and likes tonight. Stephen Otten spends a lot of time on my channel, and he is always welcome. He is good people, and I hope you think that I'm good people too. I think I missed some comments from David Pensack, but welcome to the channel. Before you refill your beverage, hit the like button and keep the Friday night last call going strong. Oh, that is incredibly encouraging, David. Thank you so much. I don't care if it's before or after, but I suspect he says that because after you might be a little confused about which buttons to press. Hit the like, hit the dislike. Either way, it's engagement, but I am encouraged by the likes. Absolutely. Keely Chow, of course, has become a regular on the channel. I think Keely was brought here by Aged Boomer. But whatever the case is, I super appreciate Keely being here.
Lynn is male.
Lynn is male. I'm sorry, Lynn. I did not mean to misgender you. One of the things I often say about gender is gender. Everyone gets so offended when we don't know their pronouns. And I said, look, it's not just, telling people what their pronouns are. Usually you meet people historically, we've met people in person. We see how they dress. We see how their hair is and so forth. And I'll tell you, if you present as a female, I'm going to say ma'am. And if you present as a male, I'm going to say sir. I don't know what's hanging between your legs. I don't want to know what's hanging between your legs, to be honest.
Ezra Miller talked about his pronouns while the police were arresting him.
I don't give a flying fig about. You've noticed we really haven't talked about him on either of our channels.
Well, we're talking about him Sunday, whether you want to or not. I'm sorry that video.
We kind of have to. Stephen, what's up with it?
I'm still trying to figure out how someone is a transgender and non-binary.
Good point. Those two are mutually exclusive. That's absolutely true. It's the same thing I've been saying about this whole ever since the Roe v. Wade leak, and people are talking about women's rights, and I'm like, do you understand? We just appointed a Supreme Court justice who can't even define a woman. For crying out loud, you people are stupid. And then we have, what was it, Vogue or one of those fashion magazines that puts a pregnant chick with a beard on the cover and says, a male mother or whatever. And it's like, no, that's a woman. Women have uteruses. Okay. Men do not have uteruses. The beard doesn't make the man. Although she's got smaller tits than I do, and that kind of really bothers me. But be that as it may. But and yeah, people bouncing in and out. That's fine. I totally understand. My concern is that it happens to me. But luckily, I've got two good co-hosts to keep me going.
So let's see here, though. I'm trying to think what else. Outer Range. Is it a show you think you're going to be rewatching?
Wait a minute. I'm not through saying
All
hi.
right.
Well, I've said hi to everyone in the chat, but I want to give the panel a chance to say hi to everyone and give their elevator pitch. And since he's our guest bartender today, let's start with Stephen Otten, deleted scenes on YouTube. Stephen Otten, elevator pitch. Tell us about your channel, which just started recently.
First off, everybody out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. If you stay here, I'm going to have to charge you.
That's the bartender for you.
Clancy, give me my shillelagh. Clancy, what am I paying you for?
No, that's what Netter's here for.
Okay,
guys, doesn't he look like David Lynch, especially with the earpiece in? Just saying.
It's fine.
You're not used to that. Nobody tells you that, right?
I'm not. No, but because when I was younger, everybody used to think I was Christian Slater. I used to get
sure
confused with him a lot. I got chased out of a mall one time by a pack of teenage girls because they thought I was Christian Slater. This was back in like the early 90s. It's him. They're like, it's him. Like, okay, who? And then they're all running at me and like, oh, right. This is who?
Huh.
True story.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
He was in Star Trek 6.
Yes,
Christian Slater was in Star Trek 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was.
Anyway,
as I understand, he didn't even cash his check. He just framed it and put it on his wall.
Huh.
Yep.
Could he cash it now?
Well, he may have cashed it now. I don't know.
Could he cash it now? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, Steven, go on.
Where were we? Yes, elevator pitch. I am Deleted Scenes, and I do have my own channel. Is in Ring, and I am 43 subs away from 100, so I'm very happy about that. And I do host a Saturday Serial on Matt Allen's channel, Bud Boy Productions, and I'm going to have the show tomorrow. I'll probably be talking about Outer Range, and there's a yet to be determined movie review that I'm going to try and do if I have some time between the end. I'm going to be on Rambling Canucks channel, karaoke Saturday night. That's going to be 10 o'clock Eastern Standard. And I'm going to be on Jedi Bill's after show. And just follow me on Twitter. That's at Deleted Scenes 1. And you'll be up to date on all of my hijinks and shenanigans as I take on YouTube channel all the time.
There you go. And I would encourage all the YouTubers out there, take a look at your channels and make sure that on your About tab on your channel, you have your links. I have MeWe, Twitter, and so forth. Those are really the only ones I have up. But now that I think about it, I should probably start doing more with Instagram. I've never understood Instagram, but I know Stephanie Janicek's really big on that, so I'm going to have to look into that more. But make sure you got your links there so that people can follow you. That's really how people find you. Yeah. So Six has another stream. Six, if you drop your link, it won't become a link, but Netter can take it and make it a link for everybody.
So Six, I just subbed you.
Yeah. Six, when she subbed to me, she encouraged me so much. She's a regular contributor to Midnight's Edge. She's she's just awesome people. I love her channel, and I really would recommend following her. Yes, and she says not every woman has a uterus. That's right. If you've had a hysterectomy, you might not have a uterus, but everyone with a uterus is a woman. And people need to start, for all this believe the science people need to friggin' learn science before they start believing the science. So what they really mean is believe the propaganda. No, real science doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your beliefs. Science is objective. So sorry, little rant there. Anyway, so subscribe to 6. No, I know you did, Netter. Subscribe to Deleted Scenes and Aged Boomer. We are like joined at the hip almost every stream. We are together, but give your elevator pitch nonetheless.
My elevator pitch is Pa Pacelli and I host Geeky Geezers, and we talk about like some of the latest, our own views on the latest pop culture news, or maybe with somewhat of a focus on the quote unquote geek culture aspect of it. And it's usually hearing us ranting about things and getting angry.
There is some ranting that
and we try to every week, not all every week, but we try to reminisce about the good old days as well. But actually, I don't know though. Some things are starting to look up though lately. I'm hoping at one point when I'm doing Geek Geezers, we will not be grousing about anything. It will all just be good news stories and nothing to complain about. But right now, though, it's to keep you informed in the public of the news that he and I feel are relevant of that week. So, this Sunday we're going to be covering a few things. We're going to be doing what is it like? You said Netflix. Like there's a thing coming down.
Yeah. Netflix is starting to realize the get woke go broke is not a good business model, and they are starting to turn around. So we'll be talking about that some more. Disney is starting to do the same. I don't remember if we have an article specifically about that, but Valiant Renegade talks about that a great deal.
And maybe a little bit on Ezra Miller, your favorite person.
I don't have that big a problem with him. I just think he's a dumbass, and
I don't know. He's reminded me of a certain character, and it's not a DC character, and it's not the Flash. Anyway.
Oh, Fischoso, I think that Netter's got it for you. If you're not a Blue Wrench, I guess it doesn't let you post links, but that's okay. Just let Netter know. And I'm telling everybody this. Just tell Netter that you want your link posted. And Fischoso, also, if you go to my About tab, I've got my Twitter link there. Send me a DM on Twitter, and I will, give you the StreamYard link to come in and say hi, and if you want, you can give your elevator pitch online, you're on air. On air? That sounds so boomerish, but I guess that's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
And so now that she's been so busy. I should also point out that because Aged Boomer and I have been so joined at the hip, and he's always on my channel and I'm always on his channel, all the instances of myself guesting on his channel are listed in my playlists of guest appearances. So if you're really enjoying me and you want to see my guest appearances and all the other channels, well, not all the other channels I've appeared on, but most of the other channels that I've appeared on, go check it out. That's another quick way to link to Aged Boomer. But of course, Aged Boomer is listed directly below in the description of tonight's show, just like Deleted Scenes is. And now, with as busy as she's been, and she's been doing a great job, I'm going to put her on the spot right now. Netter of Netter's Network. Netter, do you want to give your elevator pitch and pitch your channel too?
Yeah, I'm switching over to my mic instead of trying to go through yours.
There may be a little bit of echo, but I'll try to keep that to. Well, you know what? I'm going to mute so she can talk.
I'm sorry. I gotta put her into the stream.
Forgetting all about me. My gosh. See, yeah, he's pointing to his glass. I have dropped links to, I think I got everybody here. For anybody that I wasn't already subbed to, I just subbed to you. So if there's anybody I missed, let me know so I can get your channel and drop that link in too. If you are not a Blue Wrench, like Troy was saying, you will not be able to drop a link, but I can do that for you. So just let me know. As far as my channel is concerned, I do helpful hints. I do how-tos. I also do product demonstrations. And on Saturday, every other Saturday night, I do a rewatch on my channel. The other Saturday would be Big Al. He was talking about that earlier. So we switch off every week and we do movie rewatches. Generally, Troy will have the movie playing on Cosme, I think it is, on Cosme. So that if you don't own the movie, you can just click on his link. He's playing it. You don't even have to worry about it. This Saturday, so tomorrow, I'm going to be doing Black Cauldron. And so I hope y'all join us for that. If there's anybody here that's not subbed to me already, would you please drop me a sub? I'd appreciate it. Just same with Agent Boomer, Deleted Scenes, and Troy. If you're not already subbed to him, please, drop a sub. It's really super encouraging when you guys do that. It helps, grow our channels. And that's part of what we're about here is we don't think of you just friends. You're family to us. So we want to help you grow. We're hoping that you'll help us grow and, just keep, paying it forward, as it were. So, thank you, Lynn. So yeah, that's my whole thing. Oh, I'm also the security here and bouncer. So, watch yourselves.
Right, that's what it means to have the blue wrench, and she's she's a real mama bear when it comes to protecting me. That's why I super appreciate her. Lynn just kind of demonstrated what that's all about tonight. If one person subscribed to someone that they hadn't before, because we mentioned them tonight, I feel like I've done my job and had the opportunity to to pay it back to the people that have really helped me get to where I am. 400 subscribers, it means something to me. Netter, anything you want to promote for the next week or so?
Well, I just want to say thank you to y'all, because I had 118 subscribers, now I have 121. So thank you guys so much. It's so encouraging.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
I am planning on doing a couple of quick videos to get out because I'm still trying to edit my bathroom and kitchen remodel videos. They're just
What?
She dropped out.
Netter, you're muted, and when I muted my mic, we lost you.
Oh, okay.
She's
there we go.
mic.
I had muted me on StreamYard because I didn't want to echo on you. Now I don't remember what I was saying.
You said you were having some videos coming out.
Yes. I am planning on dropping a couple of quick videos just to get some more content onto my channel, like in the short run. I am still editing my bathroom and kitchen remodel videos, which is taking forever because there's so much there to look at and edit. I mean, there's literally, I think I've filmed over the course of 2 weeks. So that's a lot to edit. So I'll get those out when I can get those out. I'm planning on breaking those up into parts. So that'll be, you'll see part 1, part 2, part 3. I think I got 6 or 7 parts for just the bathroom model itself. So look for those coming up. But in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to drop a couple of quick vids just so that you have something out there to keep you amused. And speaking of being amused, I do have one vid out there that's basically for amusement. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's a couple of little video shorts that I picked up in different places that are just fun to watch. And that's about it for me for right now.
And okay.
You're still muted.
Oh, yep, you're right. I was coming through your mic. So thank you so much, Netter. I can't even begin to thank her so much. She is the better part of my life. So I would be super encouraged if you subscribe to her. Netter, thank you so much. I know you'll be lurking in the background, but right now I want to bring in Fischoso. How are you doing, my friend? We are now linked up on the Twitters.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How you doing, my friend? Elevator pitch. Tell us about your channel. I didn't know you had a channel, so I can now get you all.
I just talk about I just make videos talking about what I feel, what I care about at the moment, because it's hard to make videos on stuff you don't care about.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I gotta find motivation to edit, the record and edit a whole video about something you don't give a shit about.
I'm with you.
So I don't publish a lot of content frequently. Usually it might be a lot. You might see a while between videos. Usually a live stream or something. The most recent one I did was a live stream with Pope Metallica's on Dungeons and Dragons. Nobody showed up for that though.
We're having a hard time. I'm having a hard time finding your channel. Do you want to? Did Netter?
There's the link in the chat.
You did drop the link. I'm sorry. I've been so focused on what everyone's been saying. I haven't been following the chat. Netter's awesome. There we go. We go. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fischoso.
So my most recent video I did. Sorry. Most recent video I did was on the worst manga I've ever read. I'm going to try to do some more some positive manga reviews, but I just want to get that off my chest.
Actually, I'm not sure this is the right Fischoso, because the last video I'm seeing on it was about D&D 5th edition. So I think we got the wrong.
That's the last. No, that's the last.
Oh, that is you. Okay, good. I am subscribing right now, and I'm hitting the notification bell so that I will then go back and watch some videos. Yeah, you've got the right click on the blue wrench. Sorry. There you go. I'm a dummy. Okay, I'm subscribed, and I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fischoso. Tell us about your channel. What is your channel all about? In a nutshell,
there's no specific thing. Talk about what I feel like talking about at the moment that I actually care about. I want to do some positive stuff. Yeah, I want to do some positive stuff eventually. I want to put together a video on Hit Monkey, but I gotta rewatch that show. That show was amazing, by the way. It just got buried though.
Okay.
Oh, Hit Monkey, you know what I'm talking about? The Marvel cartoon on Hulu.
I haven't seen them, but you know what? If you've got a video out there about it, I'll check it out.
I'm going to make it. I ain't made it yet. I'm going to make it. I got to rewatch the show first. It takes a lot of effort to make these videos, and the strange thing is, it takes so much effort to make a video that gets barely any views. It usually takes around 40 views at maximum or something. But it doesn't matter.
It takes time, right?
It does.
I've been doing this for years, though.
Yep. Well, you know what? I've just subscribed to you. I know Netter has too, and I'm hoping that everyone in the chat does. I'm looking forward to seeing more of what you have, what you've done previously, and I'm looking forward to what you have coming forward. You have been recently in the past couple weeks very much present in the chat, and I super appreciate you being here.
Past couple weeks, me on last live stream. I wasn't there before.
Yeah, absolutely part of the family already. So I super appreciate it. So I'm glad that I could find out that you had a channel and I could subscribe and get to know you better. Do you have anything coming out do you do live streams? Do you have something coming out this week?
I got a live streams playing right now. I my live streams by myself are very boring. Usually, just me talking, me pausing for about every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. So, because after every 10 minutes, not really. Usually in that 40 minutes, there's nothing really to talk about.
I get you. Well, good. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And I like I said, I'm subscribed. I'll be looking forward to your content more. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the chat in the coming weeks.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks so much, Fitzchozo. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay, and real quick, I have one more invite because I just saw him drop
Hi, Mr.
in.
Matchstick.
Mr. Matchstick is here, and I want to send him an invite too. I just got to get the invite link, and he is awesome. Mr. Matchstick is another one that I'm on at least once a month with for Culture Fortress and some other stuff, but I'll let him tell you more about that when he drops in here, Mr. Matchstick. I just me-weed you the link. And Steven, are you still drinking tea? Because that kind of looked like it might have been a whiskey there. You're muted for some reason, even though it's not showing as muted.
So yeah, no whiskey here.
Oh well.
Maybe I should get some. I don't know.
Are you a whiskey drinker, Steven?
Get whiskey. Not really much of a drinker. Period. Maybe I should start. I don't know.
Do not start on our account. I don't want to be responsible for any bad vices.
Because a couple of weeks later, I'll be like, Ethan.
Yeah,
I'm taking over the show, okay?
I might make you a regular on this channel then.
Plus, you could end up beating someone to death outside a bar. You don't want that.
Well,
No,
yeah,
we don't. That's a whole can of worms that we just don't want to open up.
Okay.
Or dig up, or try and figure out where the hell in time they are. But we're getting to that. So.
And I don't know if Mr. Matchstick is even still here right now, but I know that Netter literally just dropped his link. But he did say he was just stopping in to congratulate me on the 400. Like I said, if you go to my playlists, he is all of the Culture Fortresses that I've done with him and the other shows that I've done with him are listed there. And you can subscribe to him from any one of those videos. And I'm not sure what you're referring to, but
she's telling me to stay away from the spirits.
Oh yeah. I always encourage drink in moderation, but we all have different levels of tolerance. You guys might not believe this from what you've seen on the show, but I have a much lower tolerance than you might expect. No, I suppose that's not true. I suppose a lot of you that have seen me have 2 drinks in one stream have seen me get pretty blotto by the end. And poor Boomer is like, I gotta go. Bye. Don't look. I'm gonna be sick. But it happened once, but it was pretty wild. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. If anyone else wants to come in and give their elevator pitch, I certainly want to have you here. But I think at this point, we're going to pivot to the other topic of the night, which is outer range. Now, Stephen Otten, Deleted Scenes, is the one that said, hey, I want to come on your channel and talk about this. So we watched a bunch of episodes and realized it was really good. So we talked about that about 2 weeks ago. You can see that in my video history. Guys, help me out here. How far did we get? We got well into it, past the midway point, right? Did we get to...
We got halfway through, I think.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So did we not talk about the soil? The 5th episode?
No.
Royal embarks on a quest to investigate the elusive dark material that is present in the land, only to intensify his growing rivalry with Autumn. So just a reminder, Autumn is this hippie who has been, well, I don't want to say squatting on his land because she did ask permission, but she's camping on his land, and she clearly knows more than she's letting on. And she
has to take medication.
She is knucking futs. So she is taking all
Yeah.
kinds of mood altering drugs, and when she's off her meds, she's methed up. Am I right or am I right?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
In the second half of the show, Autumn gets increasingly manic to the point that she gets exactly that, methed up, and she just goes on a tear through. She has targeted the Abbott family, and we finally find out why. And I don't know if give it away here.
Well, let's
yet,
certainly
but,
not give it away for this episode, because we don't find out until the last episode. But she remains a mystery until the last episode. How does she know all that she knows? You start to imagine that she probably has had some sort of a encounter with the weird anomalies and so forth, just like Royal has, just like, what's the rich guy that's in a coma now? What's his name?
Wayne.
Yeah,
Wayne
just
Tillerson.
like Wayne has. Yeah. So she knows some things. And honestly, I was going into this episode, including through this episode, I thought that an encounter with the hole in the ground, the hole in space, whatever you want to call it, temporal anomaly, is what causes people to go insane. Now I'm starting to think that it's just the mineral or whatever that seems to be causing this effect. Is some sort of I don't know. It messes up the brain, because it seems like everybody that's come in contact with it goes nuck and futz. Even though Royal seems to be one of the more grounded characters. I don't know if you guys would disagree with me. He's got his problems too, but can I just stop and say Royal's family? Yes, the neighbors are like the evil bad guys. Fine, they're the antagonists of the story, but Royal's family is all a bunch of fucking idiots. They are stupid as all hell. Netter and I are screaming at the screen. Would you just stop and think and listen and talk to people? And what the fuck is wrong with you people?
They're under stress.
Yes, but this goes beyond stress. This is, I swear, they are making life-altering decisions without thinking through the ramifications. I just...
That's part of the problem. Nobody is thinking anything through. Yeah, take a drink. And that's also part of their problem. They drink away a lot of their problems too, and that's not helping.
So maybe that's it. Maybe.
I mean, the thing is they're so busy. How do I put this? The cover-up is worse than the crime.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is hiding something.
Yep.
The Abbotts are hiding something. The Tillersons are hiding something. You have Sheriff Meme in like her whole storyline. Especially in episode 6 and 7, which pretty much kind of focus on the sheriff.
Yeah.
And even she's making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, and
like sticking the buckle in her desk drawer.
Oh yeah, that was and she knows it. She mishandled evidence, which allowed Royal to co-opt it, and
she admitted she screwed up, so I'll give her a point for that one.
And I do have to say this. I would say of all of the, and I don't know if you want to consider this woke or not, whatever. I'd say that her character is one of the most realistic depictions of a lesbian character I think I've ever seen in a series or whatever. At the same time, Not as much fun as lesbians in some of the other shows. Just gonna say it. Just throwing it out there. I know that's not a politically correct comment, but you know, I mean,
well, she's kind of like I want to say. I think she gets better toward the end, but really she's so focused. Like her main crux right now, I think, is she's trying to figure out if she's going to be able to win that election, right? So that's why she's redoubling on this case, because she doesn't want to get...
Politics ruins everything, as Viva Fry says. No, you're absolutely right. So you have somebody who could be a faithful law enforcement agent, but she is focusing more on politics than her job, right? And the focus of politics is got to have results no matter what. And she isn't able to take the time she needs. She is not able to engage the compassion she needs. If politics wasn't an issue, she might actually be able to communicate with people on their level and be able to come to an answer here. Unfortunately, she can't do that. Now, putting that aside, the I don't want to say conceit, but one of the elements of this show is this supernatural element. And we've commented on this on the previous episode where we talked about this. You know, he died, and then his body was thrown into a time vortex to pop out, and it looks like he's only been dead for a couple days when he's actually been gone for more than a week. That kind of throws off things like forensics. And it's not like she can say, well, he fell into a time vortex. That's her explanation, you know, but that is the reality. And in the last episode, maybe the last two episodes, she's starting to see, no, definitely the last episode. One of the cliffhangers is,
I think for sure. Yeah.
She definitely understands that she has traveled through time. Therefore, time travel is possible. This is what this is all about. And Stephen, I think you've been more intimately involved in this show than I think any of us have. Do you have any insight on how the time travel's working in this? Because she didn't like leap into the hole or something. If the hole was the only conduit to time travel, you'd say, okay, well, she must have fallen into the hole, but she's just walking through the friggin' woods.
I had a different reaction to that scene that you're talking about.
Okay.
I didn't see it as she walked back in time. I saw it as the buffalo and the Indian tribes from that era somehow came into our time through some vortex.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. Maybe you are correct. Maybe she walked through a thing.
Let's back up. We are kind of talking about the last episode here, so
yeah. Oh, sorry.
You can argue it's a spoiler, but I don't think it ruins anything. The reason I think you're probably and the reason I can agree with you, Boomer, is you have the episode where the brother from the neighbor, I forget these characters' names, especially after this is how far into my rum I am. So he's digging in the field after the hole seems to disappear. He's digging into the hole, and we thought he found oil, but what he actually found was a liquid suspension of this black mineral that seems to cause all of this weirdness. And then suddenly, out of the hole, a whole herd of buffalo come running up. And I don't know if he's getting trampled or what's happening here.
Do we want to talk about the rivalry between the two brothers, or maybe we're not going to get there yet?
Well, we did talk about it last time, but if you want to bring us up to speed, go ahead.
The Tillerson brothers. Okay, so the Tillerson brothers. What's the name of the guy that likes to sing?
He's a good singer, too, by the way.
Billy.
Hold on. Billy? Okay, yeah. And then there is...
Billy.
And then Luke, I think, is the other
Luke. Guy. And then, of course, there's a little bit of anger.
And I only remember Luke because they named an owl after him.
Because he finds out that Billy is going to be the one that inherits the ranch, right?
Yes.
And, of course, he was expecting to inherit the ranch, or at least it wouldn't all go to his younger brother. And he
Billy is
not happy
very
about
immature, very much a man-child, very spoiled, but a good singer. And I got to respect that.
Yeah, and they seem to get along okay, and then he's not like it looks like the mom is trying to play him off the dad. Did you notice that? Or
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
Oh,
And
for sure.
she's and so I think Steven, I don't remember if you did this on the last stream or if you did it in the private chat with us, but the comparison between this show and Twin Peaks, you have your elements of your normal soap opera, Machiavellian families feuding with a supernatural element, right? So I would agree that this does get my Twin Peaks hackles going. Plus, we're also talking about this very rural type of neighborhood, this very timeless sort of community that also kind of harkens to Twin Peaks. But instead of being the Pacific Northwest, it's more, the West.
It's Wyoming.
It's Wyoming, yeah. But so you're thinking that the savanna covered with buffalo and the buffalo tribes have literally come into the present day. That's fine. I can accept that interpretation, but you're not going to tell me that whole field of teepees fell into the hole. So again, my argument is this hole in the ground is not just a Stargate type of portal. There's more going on in the area around, especially when you have a mountain disappearing and returning and stuff like that. Another neighbor talked about, mastodons or something appearing on his land or something like that. A lot of weird shit going on, and definitely hooks you for some interest, but we don't get a lot of those kind of explanations by the end of the season. Steven, what were you going to say? Maybe you weren't. I don't know.
I have so many different things running through my head right
now. Go ahead. Just shoot them.
I literally just finished the last episode minutes before we started the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still
processing. Yeah.
Collating certain android once said. And wow, it's one of those shows where fill in the blanks, find more blanks.
Yeah.
Because by the end of it, what's really resolved is really there is without going too far into it just now, there is one character with which things have been very much resolved.
Yeah.
But it's like, wow, I don't even know what to say.
I love when Steven freezes, but it's not his camera freezing. He just stops to think, and it's like, is it his camera or is he just literally not moving?
Because I'm also I'm trying not to give away too much too soon because I want to talk about everything.
I gotta say we are going to get into spoilers, so
okay.
I mean we are going to get there.
I don't know how to discuss a lot of it without going into spoilers.
Okay, I mean, you know what? Maybe it's time for the spoilers. So hold on a second.
Did the Frito man get into an accident because he saw the buffalo in these episodes?
Was that never got explained. What happened? What happened to him? They never
screamed
went back.
And he heard a crash. He screamed. He heard a crash, and that was it. Yeah.
That was it. Is he now out of time? Is he now in some other time, someplace else?
I don't know.
Is his car still flipping over into 1886 or something? We don't know.
Okay. So
No,
as far as I'm concerned, we have kind of opened up the floodgate on spoilers. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Actually, I don't think we're going to end up talking about these episodes in order. I think the last 4 episodes kind of blur together in my memory.
They do for me.
Well, I know 6 and 7.
Yes. I think we've already covered that. We'll actually probably come back to that a little bit more.
I still want to know why the mom had the baby bear bite on her hand.
I don't know.
Just when I thought she was the normal, sensible one, she goes and does that kind of stupid shit, and I'm like,
And it was never explained.
no.
I thought it was going to be something to do with the case and the sheriff and her maybe saying, "Oh, I was attacked by a bear. That's why I had the gun out." Or no, there's nothing like that. I thought it was going to be some.
So, for those of you that are okay with the spoilers but have no idea what we're talking about, Royal's wife encounters. She looks out the window of the house, and she sees that there's a dead bear cub out in their yard.
Yeah.
And let's face it, that's a sad thing, right? So she needs to bury this carcass, really. But first she takes it and forces the dead body.
She drags it into the shed.
She drags it into the shed and spends the day with the dead carcass, and then she forces the thing to bite her for some reason without any clear reason why. It's a dead body, but she's closing its jaws on her hand to make it bite her. It makes no friggin' sense. And then she buries the carcass.
She never brings it up again.
And she doesn't tell anyone about it. She doesn't talk about it. And then eventually she's at her truck. She's getting ready to get into the truck or whatever. And Mama Bear shows up and attacks her. And one assumes, logically speaking, Mama Bear is looking for her cub, which on an emotional level is kind of sad, but at the same time, it's nature. It happens. She's got to protect herself. She pulls a shotgun, shoots Mama Bear, right? At first, you think the bear's dead, but of course, it's not that simple when you're shooting buckshot. So the bear is wounded and trying to crawl away in pain.
Mm-hmm.
All CG, but very well done for a show of this, and the bear collapses and moans, and it's very emotional. And she eventually does what one would do under those circumstances, put the bear out of its misery, which is kind of sad because it was just mom looking for the bear cub, and she's going to have to bury that one too. But the whole thing makes no sense, and I'm probably going to have to go back and watch this show over again because I'm sure there's got to be some symbolism there. There's got to be some parallels to the other parent-child situations going on in this story, but I don't know. It was trippy and weird, and I don't know.
Well, there's this scene that takes place earlier where Autumn also encounters the bear.
Autumn is the hippie squatting on the land.
Right, and it literally gets right up, this close to her face.
Yep.
And she talks to it, and it talks back.
Right.
Or
which does lend itself to, is this all just a hallucination on her part? Or does she have some kind of weird timey-wimey powers or something? Don't know. No answers there. But there you go.
Do we want to talk about the romance between Billy and Autumn?
You call that a romance? We'll get to that in a second, Aged Boomer. First, real quick, I do want to talk about Aged Boomer's icon. He has a bear that says outer range above it. I love this icon. It's brilliant because it ties into the show, but this is tied to an actual product called Outer Range that if you do any Googling of Outer Range, you're going to see half your Google hits about the show and half of them about this product, which I think is pretty cool. What's the typo? Let's take a look.
I didn't want to say.
Oh, you got to tell me that when well, I guess I got to hide it in order to edit it.
I figure it's a drink talk.
It is. It absolutely is. Order range. Yeah, no, it becomes difficult. Hell, it's difficult enough to talk and run a show and type at the same time. But I've had a good deal of Kraken, so keep that in mind too.
Oh,
But,
I'm on the website for Outer Range Brewing Company. It's asking, are you over or under 21?
It's an alcoholic drink, yes. Yes, it is. 21, that's surprise. Oh, 21 is alcohol. So that's interesting. I'm going off on a tangent here. 21 to drink alcohol in the United States, but you can buy pornography at 18. You could die for your country at 18, but you got to be 21 to drink. Laws don't have to make any sense.
They do not. No. I think it's beer.
That's what I suspect. And let's see. Don't forget about the guy in the back of the squad car mentioning people disappearing for 60 seconds. Yeah. That's true. Are these people all walking into the hole? No, probably not. They're probably just walking along, disappearing, and then showing back up again, I think, like the sheriff did. I think that's why I interpret it the way I did, Boomer, based on what David said here, too. And Lynn, I don't know if everyone here has watched it. I'm just making sure that the spoilers are up there. Not everybody necessarily subscribes to Amazon type Prime, so I guess, I assume. I mean, I don't think they rule the world just yet. We're not, they're not a Dark Mirror episode yet, but they could very well be. Good point. So we got a lot of timey-wiminess in this. I'm sorry? What was that, Stephen?
I was agreeing to that,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
another Black Mirror episode. Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about, right? The post-apocalyptic where they keep delivering stuff, and it's meant to be an analog for Amazon, right? That was Dark Mirror, right? Okay. So anyway,
Sounds like
so we got a lot of timey-wiminess, especially in the last half of this episode, and we get again spoilers. I've got the banner going for a reason. We're going to get into actual real spoilers here. So Royal finally confesses his backstory. He had said he didn't remember the first 8 years of his life or something like that. And that's not true. He actually he does remember it. And honestly, I took him at his word. He doesn't remember. And as the story went, I thought maybe he'd get his memory back. No, he's just telling people he doesn't remember his childhood. Earlier in the episode, it was revealed that he showed up on the land and was taken in by the Abbots, right? And he ended up marrying his. Is it weird to say his adopted sister? I mean, not really. He was taken in and then ended up.
They probably kicked him out in the barn and said, "Here's some mush to eat for breakfast." And
whatever the case is, he was taken in.
Never allowed in the house. You're not family.
And then eventually married the daughter, right? So he sees this as much his land as hers, not just by marriage, but by having grown up here. But where did he come from before he was 8 years old? We get this revelation in the second to the last episode. Turns out he did some time traveling, and so he's from out of time. And if you look at it from his point of view, he had a Cheney incident where he accidentally shot his father while out on a hunting
accident.
And it's depicted in such a way that anyone who's ever been hunting, anyone who's ever fired a gun, kind of could totally relate to it. And it was heartbreaking. He shot his father, and they're out in the woods. He's an 8-year-old kid. He can't drag the body back to get help. No cell phone, no nothing. his father dies, right? He goes home. I'm sorry, what were you saying? Or was that just my echo coming through? Okay. Anyway, he goes home and he sees his mom and his sister hanging up the wash, and he just can't bring himself to go down and talk to him and say, I just shot Dad, you know? So he runs away and he ends up falling into the hole. And when he comes out of the hole, it kind of freaks out. What was his name? Wayne?
Wayne.
The neighbor. Yeah. So he encounters Wayne when he comes out of the hole.
Yeah.
Wayne freaks out and runs away.
When he comes out, he's all covered in the black stuff.
Right. Just like we saw when he put his hand in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's covered in the blackness and then it slowly dissipates. Mm-hmm. Same thing all over his body, right? But he goes to the house and is taken in. He doesn't want to go home. So he stays here. But what we find out is, and you kind of get a little foreshadowing of this when he looks over the range and sees his sister and his mom. They're dressed in very period inappropriate clothing, even for a rural area like that. So it turns out that Royal's actually from the 1800s. He's jumped generations into the future and stayed here. So we've established the whole time, and we knew that this whole caused a time travel situation, because when he had fallen in, when Otten pushed him in, he went forward in time some number of years and then jumped back. So we know it's a time travel portal. So speaking of time portal and the disjointedness of all of that, I am going to disjoint the show a little bit because we just had someone else jump into the chat here, and I want to bring in Mr. Matchstick. I sent him the link earlier, and I'm glad he came back and saw that he had it. Mr. Matchstick, how are you doing, my friend?
Good. How about you?
I am doing well. So you know that we are, and I don't know how long you've actually been following the show and the chat, but we've been talking about Outer Range, but more specifically, I'm celebrating 400 subscriptions on my channel, and I wanted to kind of pay it back to all the YouTubers that have helped me get as far as I have, you being one of them. Mr. Matchstick, I know that we dropped your link earlier. Netter's going to drop it again. But Mr. Matchstick, why don't you give us your elevator pitch? Tell us a little bit about your channel.
My channel is all right. So you know how a lot of people in this community are primarily focused on combating the really shitty parts of our entertainment.
Yep. Well, the whole Doomcock effect, the whole stay angry, my friends, fight the war on pop culture, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I am all about embracing the parts that are good from the past to right now.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time in the past informing people about, things that were good in the past. But if we see something in the present that's good, yeah, that too.
Yeah. I'm going to be talking about something modern on the next show, so something very recent, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can't wait to talk about the one I'm picking. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a fun one.
But as I was saying when you were out of the chat, I have guested many times on Mr. Master's channel, at least once a month, for his Culture Fortress, and that's the show where we oftentimes talk about older stuff or occasionally the new stuff that's worth checking out. It's a very positive look at pop culture. I've done talks about things like the old Gil Gerard Buck Rogers. I think I talked about the Filmation Secrets of Isis and Captain Marvel, and we're talking the Shazam Captain Marvel, not the Captain Karen. But very 70s. Very kitschy, but still very enjoyable. And I know Mr. Magic talks a lot about a lot of different anime and stuff that I haven't seen before, but he makes us aware of it. But that's not all that you do on your channel. What else do you talk about, Mr. Matchstick?
Sometimes I have gaming streams once in a while. But right now, the current show that's going concurrent to Culture Fortress is inspired by Matthew Flynn and his Ben 10 streams. Where we're just finding a good show and we're just gonna, discuss it episode by episode. Next one is gonna be the latter half of the original 0079 Mobile Suit Gundam series. And then after that, we'll be doing Gravity Falls Season 2.
Yep. Gravity Falls was something that Netter and I had never seen before, but it was definitely on our watch list. But then Mr. Matchstick comes and says, hey, you want to do this show with us? And I look at it and I'm like, it's on my list. Now I have a, time-sensitive reason to watch it. So we binged the first season and kind of went a little nuts about it. There was an episode of Gravity Falls that actually has a hole in the ground, just like Outer Range. It was kind of surreal that we had two shows we were watching with some similar themes. So that's definitely it. And Mr. Matchstick is another one that if you check out my playlists of guest appearances, you'll see all my guest appearances on his channel. You can, you can go to any one of them, hit the like button because you're being nice and you're liking the show, but you can also subscribe to him there, or the last comment in the chat, Netter just dropped Mr. Matchstick's link as well. Hit the subscribe button. If I can't get you another subscription or two, then I failed tonight, but that was my goal. What do we got coming up? Do we have anything coming up next week, Mr. Matchstick?
This next Tuesday, which would be the let's see here in the calendar, the 17th. That is nothing there.
Okay.
Eventually I plan on organizing a sort of like a D&D style game for those days.
Interesting.
It's going to be sci-fi, but
like a role
sometime
playing
later.
type of thing.
Yeah, once I get it all organized and stuff like that.
And I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. But for the 24th will be the next episode of Culture Fortress. AJ Berman, you're saying you want to do
Tokyo Vice,
Tokyo.
HBO Max series. I'll be covering that next time round, and like I know sometimes we do old things too. Like Troy, you did the Bionic Man last time.
Yes, I did just recently.
Yeah, but really big fan of Tokyo Vice, and just finished that up this week along with Outer Range. So some good television on lately, so it's not all bad. So yeah.
As long as they're not rebooting or doing, corruptive sequels, we're usually pretty good.
I'll be doing a show called Love is War.
Okay.
Which is basically two high school kids. It's an anime that are competing in this wildy coyote schemes to get the other person to confess their love.
Huh.
Wow, interesting.
It is a really fun show.
Sounds neat.
It's currently in its third season right now.
Does sound interesting. Have I committed to something for the next couple?
Not yet. You could commit now.
I can't think of anything. That's why I was.
You talk about Outer Range again.
I was going to say half the time, I'll say, did I cut? And you'll say, yeah, you committed to something in the last Friday stream, and I don't remember it because I've been drinking, and I don't know. I think half the time Agent Boomer is just giving me topics to talk about, saying that I brought it up when who knows if I did or not. But taking advantage of a drunk guy, that's not fair. I haven't thought of what my topic will be, but I'll figure it out in short order.
I know you do a lot. I know you like doing a lot of the old classic sci-fi shows.
I try. I really do. I really do enjoy that. I'll have to think if there's anything else.
Tripods.
Pardon me?
Tripods. I'm trying to think of something.
I see. Have I talked about tripods?
No, you've never talked about tripods on anything.
Never heard of tripods.
It's been a long time, and you know what? I still to this day have not seen the end of that series because PBS here in the US only carried like the first season or two, so we never got to see the end of that. So I may have to do the the pirate foo and find it and see the rest of it now that I know that I can. That might be a good one. So maybe I'll be talking about the tripods. But anyway, Mr. Matchstick, I want to thank you so much. You have contributed to this community in great ways, and I super appreciate you being here. I hold you responsible for at least part of the 400 subscribers that I've gotten so far.
Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks so much for stopping by.
All right.
Bye-bye. So there we go. So that's another voice from the community.
How about the sheriff showing up at that church? That was for political reasons, right?
Yeah, so that was their opportunity to focus on but you know what? At the same time, I'm not going to castigate them too much for the political message so much as it is character development, right?
Well, plus that is something Paul's McCabe. Remember, it's not the pastor that said anything. It was a member of was one of the parishioners that made the statement.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, he was.
Let me tell you something about that. So, okay, for those that might not have seen it, let me set up the scene, right? So the sheriff and her lesbian wife and their daughter go to church, right?
The church that the Abbots go to. It's kind of odd since she's still sort of investigating them, right? And
right.
Kind of awkward.
But what is she doing? I don't know if she's trying to be spiritual or not, but it also is very clear that she at least has another motivation, and that's the community, the networking that you get at church, right? Because she's still trying to get political support for her becoming the permanent sheriff, right? She's in a runoff with someone else. Yes. And she shows up at this church, and look, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Abrahamic religions are not keen on homosexuality. It is not endorsed by the Bible. It's just scripture, right? And be that as it may, and Netter and I have been in the religious community, and we have seen it where there seems to be two extremes. On the one hand, there are churches that will bend over backwards and crap all over doctrine because they want members and they want the tithes and they want to, it almost becomes a business. I see too many churches that are like that. On the other hand, there are these firm, hard line doctrine that is sin. We don't accept it, and we will excommunicate you if you come in here with that kind of relationship. Whereas I think real scripture falls somewhere in the middle. And I can only speak to Christianity. I'm not speaking to Judaism. I'm not speaking to the Muslim faith. But in Christianity, there's a concept that all have sinned, right? All have fallen short of the grace of God. And it's only through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ he pays the price for your sins, assuming you choose to accept that as your payment, right? So I don't, and sin is not, despite what the Catholic faith is, there is no tiers to sin. I don't care if it's just impure thoughts or going out and murdering someone. It's all sin in God's eyes, and all of it separates you from him. So if someone comes to you in a homosexual relationship, it is disingenuous as a Christian to look at them as any more sinful than you are. Judge not lest ye be judged, right? But at the same time, knowing that, you still see too many people saying, but I'm better than they are because I'm not gay. And it's like, you're a friggin' hypocrite. So in this episode, we get exactly that, right? We got this gay couple that come to the church, and the pastor says, let us pray for. I'm assuming this is a tradition in their particular congregation.
Yeah, I don't think he was being specific because of their state. I think he was just being. They were guests. These are visitors, guests.
Yes.
Just treat them with,
and that's I keyed into that too, being from Netter and I attended for a long time an evangelical church. We did exactly that. If the pastor finds out that there's a face in the crowd that he doesn't recognize, he'll go up and greet them and say, "Hey, how you doing? You know, tell me a little about you. Are you visiting? You know, what brings you here?" That sort of thing. And he'll introduce them to the congregation because it's community, right? And I mean, to the pastor, the pastor didn't focus on, this is a homosexual couple here. He just said I think he referred to her wife as her friend, right?
Yeah.
And I can see that upsetting the married couple, but at the same time,
well, I think it upset her wife more because she was in there. Let's be blunt. I don't think they attend this church.
They didn't, right?
I think they
were
just showed
clearly
up.
guests at the community,
and they're guests because she's trying to win clout of the community by attending one of the local churches. Yes,
but in fairness to you gotta what is the saying? You don't ascribe malice to ignorance, or to that which can be adequately explained by ignorance.
Right.
I see two women come in with a little girl. Could be a gay couple, could be sisters, could just be friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any assumptions, right? But he realizes, I got to say something about these people. So friend covers everything, and we'll deal with the details later as y'all get to know them, right? So let's pray for the guests that have, come to visit us today. I've seen this in evangelical churches all the time. I don't know if they're, there's some sort of Protestant. I don't know if Baptist or something else, but they're definitely an evangelical Christian. And one of the male, I will assume, leaders of the church says a prayer which is pretty hurtful to a gay couple, right? And basically saying exactly the same things that I did, Father in heaven, and I'm paraphrasing, we have all sinned, but we acknowledge, the sin of this couple that are living in sin, and blah, 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 and this and that. And hopefully they change their ways. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't really hold up real well with the scripture that says encourage one another daily, and especially as you see the day approaching. That's not very encouraging, is it? That's more being a stumbling block to your neighbor.
Well, and to be fair, I think the pastor's trying to shoo him off, but not trying to make a scene or anything. But I think that what made that scene important, though, was later on when her wife confronts her, and it's all about. And I think it's all about. I'm telling you, the sheriff. She is focused on this campaign, and maybe doing things that are not necessarily good for her family. And it's sort of running me out. The Abbots are under their stress and doing things that aren't necessarily like the whole covering up the crime and everything. I'm seeing a parallel there.
You're absolutely right. And this is why I said it's less about preachiness. It got its preachiness in there, but it is integral to the character development here.
Right.
So you see the relationship between this couple, and she's got this political mindset, and she's kind of putting her work a little bit ahead of her family, and her wife is pissed about that. And I'm not going to say rightfully so, but I certainly understand it. There is the desire to support your spouse, but there's also, hey, there's a compromise we shouldn't be compromising. So that's actually, in my opinion, good writing. I wouldn't call that woke. I would say the decision to put the characters in is woke, but not so much so that it's a problem, right?
Well, I too think if you could have a character that leans maybe one part of the political spectrum, but that doesn't mean that the show is that. Do you understand? The show is just portraying reality, basically.
And I would also say this lesbian. I made this joke earlier in the show. We got a gay couple that they're very plain-looking women. Let's put it that way. Nothing wrong with them, but they're pretty plain looking. Nothing terribly attractive about them. They don't fit the general lesbian mold of modern Hollywood. That's the whole, bow chicka wow wow kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm all into this lesbian stuff. Yeah, you're into the male fantasy lesbian. This is like real world, kind of stuff.
It's not
it really
CW.
takes that away.
It's not what?
It's not CW. It's not.
Yeah, it's not the CW.
It's not this constant, quite frankly, unrealistic, in your face.
Yeah.
It's
a realistic depiction of homosexuality as opposed to
depiction. Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to the glamorized Hollywood impression of it.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
And I know that there are certain scenes, especially in episode 6 and 7, where I think the pacing really started to drag for me. And I can understand why some people will look at those 2 particular episodes as being either boring or in some cases woke. I can understand how you could take that leap. But what's interesting about it, and I'm like I said, I've been formulating because I saw the last 3 episodes today. You
froze on it, Stephen.
She uses the woke tropes to her advantage. That's what she's doing. It's not woke. She understands that people will look at certain things as woke, and she sort of uses that to her advantage.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That is what she's doing.
She did have that one. Yeah. She did have that one comment where she was talking to, I don't remember who, and she's basically saying that not only is she a woman running for sheriff, but she's a gay Native American woman running for. And it's like the only reason you bring that up is for political points,
Right.
And I mean, realistically, so you would absolutely see someone running for office doing that. You pull all stops and you use every advantage you have. But yeah, I would actually say
that will be best if she's Native American and half black.
Native American, half black, maybe transgendered. I mean, but that's just it. They're not going for the crazy over the top intersectionality. They're being realistic about it. And I think it's brilliant. The second to the last episode, we also got what was very interesting. We got to see her wife and her daughter going to some sort of regional Native American jamboree. We assume that's got to be her tribe.
With the dancing and
they're doing the traditional dances. Mostly the kids showing they're teaching the culture to the next generation, that sort of thing. And so seeing their daughter very, very embarrassed trying to go through the dance in front of people, it was kind of adorable. Anyone that's ever raised kids or had kids in their lives kind of recognized that, and it was really open to that. But it also underscored her connection to her heritage, which ends up becoming important in the last episode. As we mentioned, she ends up either walking through a portal back in time, or back in time comes through some portal into the present, and she sees plains of bison and a field filled with Native American wigwams. And she's like, I'm not in Kansas anymore. She is in Wyoming. It's not that she's not in Wyoming, but she's not in her own time anymore. And that's where she's left hanging. We don't know what happens to her at the end of the season. So again, with the timey-wiminess. We are in the last half hour of the show. I'm going to go ahead and spoil the last bit of the big.
Before we do that, shouldn't we talk about what's his name turning himself in?
Again, stupidity.
Well, you had the fight at the Abbott household. The episode,
unilateral, dumb, and you know what? Royal had already explained it to him. He said, "Look, if you turn yourself in, you implicate All of us. We become accessories. Do you understand that? So shut your mouth. Do not make unilateral decisions that are going to affect all of us. That's not how it turns out. Anyway, go ahead, Agent Boomer.
Nothing. Well, we had the big showdown at the Abbott household, the end of episode 6, and the little girl, what's her name, with the youngest?
Amy.
Was it is she April?
Amy.
Is
Amy,
that the
okay.
daughter's name? Okay.
Amy, and she ends up getting cut, like a piece of glass stuck in her head, and she runs off into the thing. And I know that who's the rodeo brother? What's his name again? The rodeo brother,
Brett.
Yeah, Brett. He's angry because his one true love broke up with him. Didn't want to be with him because she feels he's covering for his brother. So they all get into a big nasty fight, and it ends with Amy getting a piece of glass stuck in her head, and she runs off in the woods. So I guess they just that's when the next episode starts with what's his name turning himself into the police. So
right, so a couple things there. Yeah, so you have the family fight over the situation. They're trying desperately to shelter Amy from, the adult business, but she, in typical television format, she keeps wandering into the room at the wrong times, and they have no choice but to talk to her about it. Her father, whose name is Perry, and the only reason I remember his name is Perry is because they keep asking, "Where's Perry?" Which, of course, causes Netter and I to laugh because we automatically think of Phineas and Ferb. Hey, where's Perry? That might be a Culture Fortress for... Oh, maybe that'll be Tuesday's Culture Fortress for me. Maybe I'll talk about Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, do that.
Anyway.
I'll throw another reference at you.
Yeah.
That's obscure. The Brothers Grunt.
The Brothers Grimm?
The Brothers Grunt.
Grunt. I don't know that one.
It was an MTV show. It was on for like a season. It was part of Liquid Television, like when they had the Max and Aeon Flux, and there's a character named Perry in that show.
Oh, okay.
Who is who's being set up to sort of take over this monastery that they're in, and instead of taking over, he flees. He runs off like a rabbit, and they have to go into the world to find him and bring him back. And anyway,
fair. So,
I'm probably the only one who remembers that.
So Perry, he's and all credit to him. He's trying to do the right thing. He knows he screwed up. He knows it's hurting his family, and he's willing to fall on the sword for his family. Problem is, he doesn't think that through, and he's going to end up hurting his family more than helping them. But what he does is when he sees that the fight that he starts literally causes an injury to his daughter, he's like, okay, I gotta address this like a grown-up. And he goes and turns himself in. He confesses, I killed him. It was all me. Problem is, he also can't speak to what about the missing 5 days, where the body, you didn't kill him that night. You had to have killed him 5 days later. How did you get him up that hill if you didn't have any help?
Yeah, the Tillersons are angry. They're thinking they tortured him, right?
That's, if you're being reasonable, that's a reasonable assessment. If he was only dead for a few days and he went missing 10 days earlier, they had him in a shed beating the crap out of him all that time or something. Who knows? That's where your mind goes. You don't automatically go to time travel. I mean, right?
And we also had the flashback at the skating rink where we find out this is not the first time that Perry and Trevor have come to blows.
Right.
We know Perry has always had this, for the lack of a better term, anger inside of him, regardless of where that may come from, which is another thing that that doesn't really get explained. Why is he, sort of this miniature Ted Bundy almost?
And we also get, because we've seen the conversation he had with Royal about it. Royal takes responsibility for his son, and realizes maybe he didn't deal with it the way he should have as a kid, and it escalated, and now he's got to deal with it, and he's taking responsibility for his family, as you would expect a patriarch of a family to do. But yeah, so we have Perry try to confess. They of course have to let Royal and the rest of the family know, and they come down to bail him out. It's a $500,000 bail. What do they have that's valuable? The ranch. So they put up the ranch as collateral for his bail. And as you know, all of you know, bail means you put down a large sum of money and you're vouching for someone, saying, let him get out of jail until his trial. And then after his trial, whatever, and you get that money back. It's like a bond. You know, we're you hold the money, we'll take our son, and it's like pawning. It's pawning the prisoner, right? But if he disappears and runs off to Mexico or something like that, you forfeit that money. Literally, if he disappears, they're forfeiting the property, the ranch.
Yes.
So after he gets out, he lets Royal know that he knows about the hole in the ground. He knows about this. He wants more details. So Royal takes him to this big hole in the ground and tells him the story about how he shot his father, how he couldn't go home. He jumped into the hole because he felt like he could use it to disappear, and he jumped over 100 years into the future. And that's where his life here starts. And of course, Perry sees that as, oh, well, that's my escape too. And he jumps into the hole.
Now, to be fair, and of course, I know you saw that. What happens after that? The hole disappears, right?
Yeah. Then the hole disappears, right?
And
so it's not like he's just
you were probably hitting the side of your head when you saw that, right?
When he decided to jump in, I was hitting my head because I was like, you dumb fuck. You literally have just pissed away your family's farm. You are helping nobody. You have fucked everybody.
Now, you are forgetting one key factor here, though. Autumn talked to him. I have to talk to you. And, remember she read when he was with his daughter.
That's how he knew about the hole in the ground and all
she
that.
might have told him something else, like, oh, jump. I don't know what she told him, because we didn't get to see what she told him.
Right.
And I wonder if something she told him spurred him to jump in that hole. I don't know.
You're absolutely right.
But yeah.
So there's that, right? And his disappearance means at the end of the season, it's looking for all the world like if he doesn't show up by the next day to show up in court, they're gonna lose the ranch. Put that aside for a minute, and you got Autumn, who not only has talked to Perry about the hole in the wall, but has talked to the singing brother across the way about it and told him all about it. So he's going to inherit his father's property when he dies. And now he knows why his father wants that piece of land. And he starts to do his own research into the black mineral that's on the ground and starts doing some weird ass shit with that black, mineral. He grinds it into a powder and he snorts it or whatever. And he goes
to his dad on this.
Feeds it to his dad and anoints him with it. He's like, the fuck is wrong with you, kid? I mean, you oh, look, a magic rock. Let me eat it. I mean,
yeah, let's grind it up. Let's
yeah, right. No, that doesn't make any sense at all. Netter was just pointing out. No, he's knucking futz too. I mean, I guess they kind of already established with his. I suppose this is what they're going for. His singing, belting out songs in the middle of the day at random is supposed to look a little quirky. I'm sorry, I have a hard time seeing that as quirky because that's just me and Nanette. I mean, we do that all the time. Ask Stephen Otten about, all the karaoke that we do on the various channels on Rambling Canuck and all the other channels, Jedi Bill and so forth. But no, I mean, I've even done this. I've even done this with Mary T and Telly on Twitter, she'll put up some really romantic song, and then I'll respond with a song that's either complimentary or like just the opposite. Like, for example, she put up I don't remember which song it was. It was some really sappy romantic song. And I'm like, that's what women consider romantic. This is what men think of as romantic. And I put up a link to Jimmy Buffett. Why don't we get drunk and screw? Anyway, but honestly, throughout the day, I will just, Netter and I both will just burst into song. And like 80% of the time, the other will know exactly why you're singing that song. And the other 20% of the time, okay, what put that song into your head? You know, it's just, but yeah. So I really respect the crazy ass guy who sings for no apparent reason, but apparently they're using it as a symptom of his mental illness. And he gets into some sort of a sick codependent relationship with Autumn.
Yeah, their makeout
carving
sessions are
symbols
kinda...
into his chest, and he's like, oh yes, and
Okay.
you know, I'll do anything you say, and worshiping her like a goddess.
You know what this reminds me of, and I was going to build on this when Boomer brought it up, that it's a romance, but it's not really a romance. And I'm like, it's a romance in the same way that Harold and Nadine were a romance in The Stand.
Okay.
It's that's what it reminded me of. It's Harold and Nadine.
It's very, like I said, it's codependent. It's very unhealthy, but it is what it is. So she's told all the secrets to him too. Now he knows about it, and he's all behind his dad's wanting to obtain the land. Not going to get too into the situation with his brother and his father and all that. That's I don't know how that'll play out. We'll
Royal Abbot breaks down and he gives him a ride. You know that scene?
Yeah. So Royal Abbot's out driving, and his truck breaks down, and the brother pulls up and gives him a ride, just like he did with Amy earlier in the season. And you know, when you take a ride from him, it's going to be a little weird at least, but it's definitely a dangerous situation. Well, Autumn had already told him to. We don't know exactly what she wanted him to do, but wanted him to deal with Royal in a particular way. And it looks like he's going to kill him. He's taking him somewhere. He's used this opportunity to Shanghai.
It's the roller disco that we saw earlier in the episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he takes.
Yeah.
She takes him. He takes him to this broken down, out of business Xanadu type place, and it looks like for all the world he's going to blow him away. But he ends up leaving him alive. But he does let him know some of what he knows, and he walks away with a very ominous prediction, which at first I read very differently. He says, I think something bad is going to happen to your granddaughter. And that, under those circumstances, anyone would have taken that as a threat. Like he's going to do something to Amy. So now that brings us around to the rodeo, where Rhett is he needs a win here, and he wins a championship or something like that. And his father shows up there and throws him off his game, and he doesn't do well in his first out with the bull, which sucks. But what does Royal say? He's like, look, I need to talk to you because I may not ever see you again. Okay, so now we're engaged. What does he have to say? But he doesn't say anything of use. He says some cryptic stuff and gets dragged away. That throws him off, and he doesn't do a very good job on his first outing.
Dislocates his shoulder, right?
Yeah, he lands solid on his shoulder. You hear a crack, and honestly, at first, the way he was dragging himself away, I thought he'd broken his back. But no, he hadn't broken his back. He either dislocated or broke his shoulder.
he had broken his back, the way the one guy grabbed him by the waist and yanked him
would
up
have,
hurt
yeah,
more.
yeah. That's how we knew he hadn't broken his back, right? But a lot of things happen at the. So he goes up into the stand, sits with his wife, and
someone calls Amy.
And
or maybe she answers her mom's phone or something.
She listens, and then she says to her grandfather, "It's for you." And it turns out to be Autumn, and Autumn is, because she's already been through all this. I know what's going to happen. I know you're trying to kill me. He had already previously said, you mess with my family, I'm going to kill you. And he tried, and he failed. She said, I'm in town. Let's do this thing. So he leaves to go face, have a showdown with Autumn. Meanwhile, sitting in the stands, Amy gets up and wanders away. You don't know if she's going to the bathroom or what, but little girl in a crowd, wandering away from grandma, and she's under the bleachers going somewhere, and she sees her mother. What was it, Rachel or Raquel
Rebecca.
or something like that?
Rebecca,
thank you. And we hadn't seen her. She was already missing as of the first episode. And her mother says, I'm sorry I've been away. I can't explain. I need you to come with me. And she's like, okay. And she goes off with her mother. Now, this was front loaded by a conversation with her father earlier, where she has a day out with her father and says her father's trying to prepare her for the fact that he's going to be going to jail and he's not going to be around. And she says, if mom comes back and wants to take me away, should I go with her? And as someone who's going to prison, he's like, yeah, you should. That is a good idea. Do that. And so when the situation presents itself, she doesn't think twice. She goes off with her mother. Perry's already jumped into the hole and disappeared in time. Grandma starts getting really worried and upset, running around the stands looking for her missing granddaughter, as one should when you're responsible for a child. And Rhett does his second round on I almost said horse. It's a bull. And what does he do? He's got to hold the reins with his dislocated or broken shoulder. So he's in a great deal of pain. But he manages to pull it off. He goes for 8 seconds, leaps off. It's still not the smoothest detransition from the bull, but he does well. I think he wins the competition.
Yes.
Netter said that his score went to the top, so I take her at her word. And he sees that the girl that he really liked from high school is in the stands cheering for him. She was the one that, Boomer, you had mentioned. She was breaking up with him because he was covering Maria. He was covering for his brother, didn't want to be a part of that. But he says, look, I'm ready to make a commitment. I'm ready to leave this town. Let's go. So they run off together. So he's gone. Perry's gone. He jumped into the black hole. Amy is gone. She's gone off with her mother. And grandma's freaking out because she can't. Amy's gone. She goes to one of the deputies and is like, look, I need you to find my granddaughter. And he's like, she probably just went to the bathroom. No, I checked the bathroom. My granddaughter is gone. Amy's gone.
And then he says it's going to be fine.
And I'll tell you, Netter was getting pissed because it's like, do your fucking job. And at first I was thinking, wait a minute, not missing 24 hours. And then I'm like, what am I thinking? This is an 8-year-old girl. You don't, someone who's responsible for it comes and says in a crowd, my granddaughter's missing.
Yeah.
You immediately mobilize.
We of course I work for the government in a government facility, and we have this thing called Code Adam, where there's a procedure to follow if a parent comes up to you or a guardian and their young kid is missing, because kids get kidnapped all the time. and there's a procedure you do to try to mitigate that, or at least close it off to make sure that you can find the kids.
Absolutely. You're absolutely. I've worked
too late.
security.
Yeah.
I've been in those
Sure.
situations. And we know how to mobilize right away. It's the equivalent of an Amber Alert, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Ghost Bastards. Hello, just came from another live stream. Yeah, there's a lot of them tonight. I certainly understand that. Glad I ended up here. Cheers from Buenos Aires, Argentina. That's awesome. Friend of yours, Steven? Someone from your streams?
First time I'm seeing him. So welcome.
Amen. Ghost Bastards. Thank you so much. Hope you like the stream. If you do, I hope you feel inclined to subscribe. I do this every Friday, completely different and random topic every week. But I hope you'll come back and enjoy the content. Thanks for stopping by. Just wrapping up here, really, as we're talking about the end of the season for Outer Range. So
I guess this brings us to the final confrontation with.
Actually, one more thing I wanted to say. I was watching Mummy and the Monkey. They show B-class movies.
Right.
Okay. I will look into that after the stream. I'll look into that channel. Sounds interesting. B-class movies sound really good to me. Okay. So Netter just subscribe to Ghost Bastards and little
Totally misspelled their names.
Bastards.
Okay.
Yes, on my channel you can swear. I don't mind.
The link is good. I spelled the name.
The link is good, even though she spelled the name wrong. That's fine. And I will then also check out the Mummy and the Monkey. That name in and of itself is worth checking out. So I'll look into that. Thank you so much. So yes, before we get to the big spoiler reveal, I did want to mention the dramatic scene of. I'm sorry. What's the grandmother's name? I keep calling her the grandmother. Royal's wife.
Cecilia.
I'll get her.
I think.
Cecilia.
Yeah, Cecilia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cecilia had a breakdown explaining why it was important that the cop help her find her. Real quick, just say good night to Matanui. Yeah, we're wrapping up here. You can come back and catch the last 5-10 minutes of the show if you want to tomorrow, but thank you so much always for being here. She has a breakdown that I compare to Laura Palmer's mother in the first episode of Twin Peaks, where you have all this craziness going on, but you have that one human moment that grabs you by the heart, right? When it was, what's her name? It's not Grace. Grace is the actress. What was Laura's mother's name? Steven? Leland and
What's her name?
I'll look her up. Hold on.
Yeah, look her up real quick for me. But
Grace
Sarah Palmer. Sarah.
Thank you. Sarah Palmer. When she is on the phone with her husband, and her husband is being told by the sheriff their daughter was found dead. And she doesn't hear anyone say that, but she knows that the sheriff has shown up and is talking to her husband, and she just knows, and she drops the phone and starts screaming. No parent can watch that scene without being 100% fully emotionally invested. Honestly, that scene is what grabbed me and held me for both seasons and the movie, and 25 years later, and the Showtime special. That's that one scene. I even got a chance to tell Grace in person that was the case, and she was very appreciative of that. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So Cecilia has a similar breakdown, and she's the focus is Amy's missing. Or she says, Amy is gone. Amy is gone. I need you to help me. Amy is gone. And while she's doing this, she falls on the ground. She's screaming. And at one point she says, God is gone. God is gone. And it sums up everything she's been through in this season. She was the voice of faith from the beginning, and she's clearly been losing her faith as things have been happening to her family. We even had voiceovers from Royal talking about his experience with faith and how God was everything, and he came to realize that God really is everything, including the bad, not just the good. So both of them having their situation with faith. So it was a very key, very emotional thing for Cecilia. And yeah, we're left with this situation. And then, of course, they end up having to go home. They don't find her. And Royal has a conversation with Cecilia sitting at the table. And she set the table for the entire family. She had said earlier in the episode to Amy, she's like, I'm preparing a family dinner so we can all eat together and celebrate Rhett's win. She says, well, what if he doesn't win? She said, it doesn't matter. This is how I was brought up. We eat together as a family always. So that's what we're going to do. Well, of course, there's nobody left by the time they get home. You got the slow cooker, overcooking and the pot shaking because it's been, many hours past due.
What's in there, a pot roast or something?
It could be anything. It could be a stew. It could be anything. Let me tell you something. Slow cookers, really, really good, especially for meat. You want to cook a pot roast or a stew or anything.
Turkey.
Huh?
The turkey.
Or, the time we cooked a turkey in a slow cooker. Oh my gosh. You cannot I suppose you could overcook something in a slow cooker, but I've never been able to. You cook something all day, that comes out the moistest meat you've ever had, let me tell you. Oh, I'm getting hungry just talking about it. We'll be ending the stream real soon, and I can go get something. But she's sitting there at the table, he's standing there, and he kind of breaks down a little. I'm sorry, I just want my family back. I want us all back together again. And she doesn't say anything.
I know what she does, though.
In complete silence, she just kicks the table over. And at first, Netta was like, well, that's kind of... And I'm like, it's symbolic. She had just told Amy before the rodeo, we all eat together as a family. By kicking over the table, she's saying, our family is gone. We will not be eating together as a family anymore. Sorry, Royal, that you want your family back. It's not happening. And it's also a final testament that she's completely lost her faith, which is also incredibly tragic. I've actually jumped ahead because the big reveal happens a little bit earlier. Rhett goes into town for his confrontation with Autumn.
Royal does.
Royal.
Not Rhett.
Who did I say?
You said Rhett.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Rhett is in the black space swimming around.
Right. Royal goes into town because he got the call from Autumn, and he goes to face off with her in the middle of the street. And it's a very Westernish type meet in the middle of the street kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very accurately so, because they both pull guns on each other and start shooting. And
we know that from that one future thing that he had died in his wife's arms. So I'm wondering, is this going to happen? Is he going to be
good point? Good point. But since she's not anywhere around, maybe not. Although we're still sitting here with all this time travel, we still don't know what the rules of time travel in this show are.
We don't.
Is everything a predestination?
He's saying that his fate, you're going to meet your fate tonight. He says, it's like, well, maybe I can change that or something.
In the dialogue, we've gotten the two possible extremes, right? Autumn seems to think everything is fated. Everything's a predestination paradox.
So they say that he's going to die that night. Okay.
Right. Whereas Royal is of the impression that once I know the future, I can change it. And we don't know which is true yet at the end of this episode. So they start shooting, and then, the singing boy shows up and starts shooting, and he's on Autumn's side, and there's this big shootout, right? and then it becomes a car chase or a pickup truck chase.
Yeah, that was a neat car chase.
And what ends up happening? They there's that whole scene where they come up alongside of each other and they go to shoot at each other and click, because the Hollywood clip ran out just at the most dramatic point, right? So the clips are empty, they don't have bullets. So what does he do? He tries to run them off the road, and actually ends up succeeding. They go off the embankment, they flip over in the truck, flip, and come to rest upside down in a field. At which point I turned to Netter and I said, from this scene that this story is taking place in the modern day and not in the 70s. And why do we know that, Netter?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Ouch!
Reading something.
I said the truck flips over. How do we know this is the modern day and not the 70s?
No boom.
Yeah, the truck didn't just spontaneously explode. Every time in the 70s, a truck would go off an embankment and start flipping, it would explode for no apparent reason. I mean, but it didn't.
That's how it's supposed to happen.
I did point out to Netter, I said, we saw her jump into the truck. She is not wearing a seatbelt. After flipping like that, she should be pulped. And I wasn't entirely wrong. When she crawls out of the truck, she's messed up.
And can we bring up the other thing?
The buffalo.
Right. I guess I got to back up a little bit more. I had mentioned this earlier in the stream, but the other brother was digging up and he's doing it crazy. He's just digging at random places, and he digs a hole and he tells his mom, I found something valuable. I think we're going to be okay. It looks like oil, but it's not oil. It's this liquid state of the mineral that causes the time travel. And as he's seeing it, he's literally over his head in this hole, and his the crude is seeping in at his feet, and all of a sudden something starts coming out of it, and you think maybe it's Rhett, or maybe it's someone else. It's a friggin' buffalo. It's a whole fucking herd of buffalo, and they just start pouring out of this hole. And Netter's like, is he getting trampled? And I'm like, I can't tell. Could be. And go ahead.
Well, Luke kind of had a gold rush fever about this mineral, right? Because he's digging up all over the place. He tried murdering his father when he found out about it, right? That was a whole thing too, and it was just
there is absolutely some value there. But we'll see what comes of that. But the point is, this whole herd of buffalo come pouring into the present. They are, in fact, responsible as Perry and Maria are driving off. And remember, this is all at night. She looks out to the side and she's like, "What is that out there?" And she sees like this cloud coming, and it's the stampede. A bunch of buffalo that have never seen traffic before, and they just plow into the street. And he's trying not to, crash into anything and trying to stay with them and whatnot. But this stampede is what eventually shows up after the truck flips and everything. And Royal climbs underneath the truck, the upside down bed of the truck, for protection from the herd, and the herd is smashing into the truck as you would expect. So as the truck gets moved, he has to crawl along with the truck to keep his protection. But
Autumn is in the field.
Autumn is out in the field, and she's getting trampled by the buffalo. So she's pretty effed up by the time he goes to see her. And so he's like, well, he goes and he checks to see, okay, she's still alive, and he's thinking about like putting an end to her, because that was his whole point in the first place. And then he notices something. Big old scar on her forehead. The scar on her forehead perfectly matches Amy's scar, who had gotten hit by the glass during the fight the night before. And he realizes Autumn is Amy. And she's time traveled.
Do you remember when I think you and Netter, I think you both made a point that Amy freaked you out or something like
yes,
something was weird about that kid? And now and also who else freaks you out on the show was Autumn. Now you're realizing.
Yeah, I was about this close to making that connection, and I hadn't 100%. And then when it happened, I was like, there it is. Okay, that's it for sure. So he does what Grandpa needs to do, right? He's like, okay, this changes everything. So he scoops her up and takes her home and puts her down in Amy's bed. And she's still unconscious, so, you know, I want my family back together. They're not coming back, Royal. They're all gone. You know, this one's gone, that one's gone. What was it? Rebecca's gone. Perry's gone.
Rhett's gone.
And
Amy's gone.
Nope, Amy's not gone. She's in. Now, I'm not sure. Had he already explained to Cecilia the time travel stuff? Does she know about the time travel?
She knows nothing about anything. She's the one that's in the dark. So is Rhett.
So
I think he was trying to explain to Rhett, and then he couldn't get the words out.
Rhett, he couldn't get it out, and Rhett didn't really want to listen anyway. So.
Oh, wait a minute! No. He did talk to Cecilia about where he came from. That was what I think he's explaining that, and that's before she kicks the table over. I just
that's the framing device.
Yeah.
Oh,
the narration at the beginning and at the end is him explaining it to her.
Okay, gotcha. See, I thought all of that voiceover was him talking to his son, because he tells the story to his son before his son jumps into the hole.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the episode, his son had already jumped. That was him telling it to his wife. That makes sense now. Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. So he actually had told both of them. I get it. So that's where we're at. That's the cliffhanger of the season. Everyone's missing. We don't know where it's going from there.
We have one major character fatality as well, which we didn't bring up. But Billy is no longer with us. So
Billy got
Which
his
one's
brains.
Billy?
Billy Tillerson. He was with Autumn in the car.
Is he dead?
Oh,
I don't know.
He was shot in the head. He was shot.
It looked like he's not. No, it looked like he got shot.
Got him right under. Basically, it's the Kennedy shot.
Okay.
I mean, maybe eating all the time travel dust will regenerate a new head. I don't know, but I mean, it's just
maybe
we didn't see the body, but it didn't look good.
Okay. I didn't. I missed that. I must have blinked or something.
No. He's. I think he didn't survive, but you never know. Maybe we'll find out more next season.
Which is fine, because wasn't it his brother that shoots Royal in the future?
I think so. It's very. I think so.
Yeah.
It's. Yeah.
So things are still kind of matching up for the timeline that we know could still be coming to pass. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'm interested enough to come back for a second season.
Okay.
We've spent 2 episodes of this show talking about it. So I got to say, Stephen, thank you so much for introducing us to this. Probably wouldn't have even caught it if it hadn't been for you.
I led us down quite a rabbit hole. And I wasn't even, it was one that I was not prepared for either. I had no idea where this show was going to go. And now that I've seen it in its entirety,
you still don't know where it's going.
I still don't know where the fuck we are. So,
right. But we're interested to see. So actually, I'm just going to call it right here. That's our show for tonight. We've talked about the first season of Outer Range. I've brought everyone in that reached out to me and said they wanted to give their elevator pitch. Even Ghost Bastards, we got you hooked up by the people that were in the chat tonight, trying to grow the channel. Just backing up, I was celebrating receiving 400 subscriptions, and I wanted to give back to the community and help every other channel grow as well. And I think I'm going to continue doing that going forward. I'm going to more often have guests in, give their elevator pitches and stuff like that. So Stephen, what have you got going on in the next week or so?
Okay, I'm going to be hosting the Saturday series. Can you hear me now?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I am? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to be hosting Saturday Serial. on Matt Allen's channel, Bud Boy Productions.
Yep.
Appear on Pulp Culture Minefield for their. I'm going to be on Rambling Canucks channel for karaoke Saturday night. I'm going to join Jedi Bill for the after party. And stay tuned to my channel because I'm going to have a couple of movie reviews coming up.
Cool.
Good. Okay, great. And Aged Boomer, what have you? As if I don't already know, what have you got going on this week?
Geeky Geezers on
Giggity,
Sunday.
giggity.
We're going to talk about the Friday the 13th rights situation now too. There was an update on that, right? So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've known it for a while, but I think there's been more going on with it. There was a recent article about it. I think it's worth reflecting on again, especially since today was, for some of you, you're already in the next day, but this has been Friday the 13th. So,
what?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Today has been Friday the 13th for some of you. For those of you on the right coast, it's now Saturday the 14th, which is also a good movie with Jeff Goldblum. So check that out.
Okay.
And Tuesday, we already know about Tuesday. We talked about that earlier in the stream with Mr. Matchstick.
Not this week. Not this week.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's next week. My apologies. I get confused. Wednesday, is there anything on Soundtracks with Birdman?
Yes, I believe we're doing Predator, so that should be interesting. Have you heard of that movie?
I've heard of it once or twice. Yes,
okay.
I've got some of the. I have the Horror Clicks Alien versus Predator set. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I can stage my own Aliens versus Predators combats. And let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, and that brings us around to next Friday. And I don't know yet what I'll be talking about, but. I think it'll be fun.
Fixing the Flash? I don't know. No, you don't have to do that.
We'll talk a little bit about that on Sunday, though. This whole
we
Ezra Miller thing. There's been a lot of rumors and whatnot, and I would not mind commenting to kind of cut through some of that for y'all.
Gotcha.
Yep. But yep, and like Steven said, thank everyone in the chat for supporting us. There's only a couple of you left, but who knows how many people will be watching in the future, or how many have been here and will come back and catch the wrap up later. You guys, this is why we're doing the channel. We're doing it just to hang out. When I started this channel, it was really because we were just going into the pandemic. I'd lost my job, and the job that I'd been in, Netter and I used to go every Friday down the street to the pub to have drinks with our coworkers and kind of let off some steam. After
it was the Friday night last call.
It was the Friday night last call, and we used to kind of vent about the crap we'd been through during the week, and we could all relate because we all worked, if not in the same department, at least in the same company. And then when that went away, we felt very detached. We felt very isolated during the pandemic. So we kind of turned to YouTube to keep it alive, and found a community that really fostered that. So that's where the Friday night last call came from, and the drinking, and the drinking's a little bit augmented by the fact that I don't have to drive. If I did, I know Aged Boomer would get me home safe. But
I would get you home safe. I just gotta walk you upstairs.
yeah, well, yeah, Netter gets me home safe. I just have to, she's to tuck me into bed upstairs. But not always an easy thing. I still have to get up there on my own power. I'm twice her size. It's not like she could carry me up the stairs. But anyway, so that is the show for tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. Any last words from anyone here in the panel? Netter?
Well, like I always say, we could sit here and talk amongst ourselves, but it's not as much fun as when you guys are commenting and dropping in bits of trivia and what have you into the chat. We don't think of you as friends. We think of you as family. So thank you for joining us.
Fact is, we interact with you more than we do our family, to be honest. So that's just the way it is. Guys, any last words?
Nothing. Join us for Geeky Geezers on Sunday.
Yep. Steven?
All right. Well, we've met some new people here tonight. Some
So glad.
you knew, some I knew. Some people were meeting for the first time, like Ghost Bastards, all the way from
Buenos Aires.
Yep.
Outstanding. I love that. And so yeah, if you like what you see, sub to Boomer's channel, to Troy's channel, to mine, and it's going to be more of the same.
Amen. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. Hope we've front loaded it sufficiently, and take care. Good night.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.